on the journey of an entrepreneur. We help you, the small business owner, get tips from other professionals, from experts on how to build a business more effectively. Every day I help sell insurance to business owners, but I also love to give them advice on how to make their businesses more successful. Previously on Journey of an Entrepreneur with Debbie Schaeffer, Mrs. G. This was your grandparents.
It really has to do with how she was part of the community. She adored the people who came into the store.
How does that happen that she says to her granddaughter, Debbie, come? How does that happen?
I would like to see a few changes. And that was about the luxury brands.
Everything just shifts all the time, right? And then you have to be ready to make those shifts on your small business. Competition comes in, right? All of those details. So I saw that you had a certain logo and then it started to evolve.
I actually kept that under wraps.
We're back with Mrs. G, Debbie Schaeffer, talking about her story, part 2. But you know, there's a lot of lessons here, you know, that a lot of evolution in that transition from your grandparents. Not only your grandparents had to relocate and be smart of where they relocated, having that second location, but then finding the location on Route 1 because there's a corridor from New Jersey to Pennsylvania,
yes.
So that was important. And then you following that same smart thinking by the parking lot and looking at those details and making sure that it fits your client base and all the activities that you do. But you also had to think about, how do I evolve this logo? And many of us are so afraid of changing our logos, right? We're so scared, and how do we change it? How do we revamp it? And here you are, you kept a lot of authenticity in it, right? You kept the realness of Mrs. G, but you gave it that fresh look.
Right.
And it looks like technology impacted you, because you said it had to get enlarged and small and be able to be on print and, you know, be on a website.
On shirts.
On a shirt, right? So interesting. And all these little details many business owners don't think about when they're thinking of their logo. And I often say it's better that it has something familiar and it's relevant to what you do.
Exactly.
Because people remember easier, right?
Yes.
Don't you find? I mean, I remember seeing you before I met you personally, and I remember being at a morning event before we even chatted, and they were saying something, and I remember that Peter Crowley, the president of Princeton Chambers, regional chambers head, you know, I just want to thank Mrs. G for, and I don't remember what it was, but as soon as he said Mrs. G, it stuck in my head. When I saw you, I said Mrs. G. I didn't know her name was Debbie Schaeffer. I just thought she was really Mrs. G.
Well, some people call me G3.
G3. That's fantastic. So all these processes, now you're taking over, you're bringing in this fresh idea of high end, but we all know that we need to study our market, our demographics, who's coming in the store. So you had shared a story about when you moved here, the importance of the layout. Tell me a little bit about the layout and why is it relevant to your clients.
Okay, so for brick and mortar, and we've all heard about, you know, the retail apocalypse and how retail is changing. And what is consistent among all the articles is you need a customer experience in the store.
That's right.
The customer needs to feel comfortable coming into the store.
Right.
So how I designed this is for them to feel comfortable. We always have something to drink. You have water, you have coffee, we have little cookies, you know, make them feel at home. Sometimes people come in here and they're angry. Why are they angry? Because their washer just broke and they didn't think that they needed to spend another $300, $400, $500 on a washer. Right. And they're feeling stressed, and we want to calm them down. Right. We have good music, you know, music that's nice, you know,
and
for
lighting.
People, and the lighting is soft, and the aisles are wide, so that you can take for the kids, you know, you can take your, you know, the carriages and things like that, but also so you can really take a look at the appliances without them feeling so tight, you know, run on top of each other, and really visualize them in your own spaces. Like in here, you have a lot of nice vignettes that you can actually visualize them in a kitchen.
In your own kitchen.
So And having the opportunity to really create, the showroom. Smells, we like to have chefs in here cooking, even just baking bread. I mean, just the smell of bread.
I want to come to that.
and the cookies and lots of different. We grill. This is grilling season, so we'll always be. Usually on weekends, we're outside grilling and things like that. So you're touching all the senses, and you're giving them a great selection of products.
Right.
And I explained to you how I was really important to me to have what I call core products. Those are the everyday products that we know and love, the washers and dryers,
Yes.
The dishwashers from brands like General Electric, KitchenAid, Frigidaire,
Right.
Whirlpool,
Yes,
LG,
yes.
Samsung,
Yeah.
and refrigerations. And then we have what I call the luxury brands, and we have those as well. And it's actually two different customers.
Right.
It's different budgets, different lifestyles, and we have generations of customers who are one type of customer, and we also have generations who are another. And I really felt it was important, because we've been around for so long, to really still maintain both types of products.
Both of your target audience. It's so important to acknowledge both of your types of clients. Every business has their target audience or their client that gravitates to them. In my own insurance agency, because we have an office in Newark and then now here in Princeton, and I speak Spanish, I tend to attract the Latino market, right? And now it's evolving. So, now we have the up and coming homeowner and the small business owner who are just startups, right? And so, but now I have the daughters and the sons who just graduated college and they're getting their cars. It's really exciting. I feel a little old. I'm like, oh my God, I saw you like running around here when you were a kid. So it's exciting, but I noticed that new generation of my client is a little different than their parents, right?
Right.
They shop different, they do research.
Oh, yeah.
So tell me about your client that does research. I know they both do, but differently, right?
They both do it different,
Yeah.
okay? So most important for any retailer or even in your business, we all know we have to have a very good website with lots of information.
Right.
And through our buying group, we are able to really offer a great website. It's a template. So many other companies like MrsG's will have similar websites, but we massage it to make it really look personal to MrsG. Like you read our story.
Yes.
And we
I loved
have
it.
great pages. So when you go to a brand, you'll have the videos and you'll have the rebates and you'll have the pricing. It's really important. So when the customer does research, all that information is
right
there,
there.
so they don't have to leave your site.
Right.
And it has to be very easy to maneuver.
That's right.
And when you're doing advertising, you have to really think of that consumer. You don't want that consumer to work hard to find what they're looking for.
No.
So when you're advertising a certain brand or a certain sale, you don't want them to go to the front page of your website and then have to find that sale that they're looking for.
Right.
That when you're advertising that particular sale, you want them to go to a page
It has everything.
about that sale
Right.
or about that brand
Right.
that will capture them, and then they'll want to learn more about it and keep spending time on your website,
Right.
really getting engaged and saying, you know what, I want to come into MrsG's
Yes.
and I want to see what I'm looking for and shopping for.
It's really interesting, Debbie, because now today marketing has changed. It's become more, technology through social media and Google and all that good stuff. And the experts say that the longer a person is on your website, the more Google pushes your name organically to the top of the list. So it's important to have those really key information. Now, Debbie, you're a civil engineer.
Yes.
How do you know so much about business, though? I mean, how do you educate yourself? What do you do?
Well, I learned the hard way. You jumped right in and taking over family business, and I learned what I don't know.
Right.
And like the financials.
Oh.
I mean, most important to know your numbers. We talked about that.
Yeah, most
right?
important. This is like golden
Know
nugget.
your numbers.
Okay, this is it.
Know your numbers. And I needed some help. And so I looked for an accountant that was truly a retail accountant.
Ooh.
Now,
Key.
if you're in different businesses, you want to look for an accountant who knows your business.
That's right.
So through the New Jersey Retail Merchants Association, I asked them for some suggestions, and this accountant is so terrific. But one of the things that he does is he makes sure that I understand the numbers.
That's a
I
good
understand.
accountant.
He doesn't let me leave the table until I understand what I'm looking at, and especially creating a budget and staying on the budget.
Right.
But that's the most important. I know what I don't know. We all know what we don't know.
Right.
So we just have to find the experts
Yeah, that can
to
help your
you
guidance. Right.
and be a part of your team.
Right.
So that you can make the right decisions moving forward.
Yeah. I often say that the 4 top relationship all business owners should have strong ties to is your attorney, your accountant, your banker, and your insurance agent. Because these 4 people are such a big part of your business. And if you build a great relationship, you can really move forward.
Exactly.
Now, do you love to read? Do you go to workshops? Do you just sit with other people that are in business? How do you do it?
I read a lot of books.
Me too.
A lot of business books. One of my, if I can recommend any book, is the E-Myth Revisited. Is it right?
I love that one.
So, and to go back and
That's
keep
my
reading.
Bible. I call it my
Absolutely.
Bible. I was talking to my uncle over the weekend, and he's building a business, and I said, he's a minister too, and I said, I'm gonna send you my Bible, the E-Myth.
E-Myth.
I mean, it can't get any simpler than that, and if you follow it, you will have a successful business.
Right.
I love that you love that book too. I also love Jim Collins. Have you ever read any of Jim Collins?
I don't think so.
Good to Great.
Oh, Good to Great, yes.
And something Too Big to Fail, something like that. But I'm addicted to Jim Collins. I love the way he writes. I love the way he explains things. It's just amazing.
So, other things that I love the books, but I also love The Prophet.
The Prophet.
Marcus
No more,
Lemonis.
he can't be more real.
I mean, he's so terrific.
Yes.
Love him. And John Taffer from Bar Rescue.
That's right. That's
Oh
right.
my goodness,
Yes.
he's amazing. And I just bought his book. I haven't read it yet.
Oh, I haven't.
So I'm anxious to read his book. But those are shows that I always walk away saying, And then Your Business with J.J. Romberg on MSNBC.
Oh, I haven't watched that.
So she's on it Sunday mornings early at 7:30. So I
I'm
don't know
up.
if you can just.
I'm up at 3:30.
Okay, so
yeah.
I always look forward to seeing her show. So that's another one I highly recommend.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Debbie, thank you so much. We love your story. I can't wait till next week to hear the rest of it.